Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores or estate sales, or sometimes I buy things from Craigslist, and I'm always looking for things that I think you guys might find interesting, or that I personally find interesting myself. And then I bring them home, try and find out as much as I can about them, and then tell you guys about them. So here's what I got today. I don't really do this, but I have a little piece of Coronation memorabilia. As you know, the current Queen Elizabeth II, was crowned in 1953, and there was obviously for each of the coronations quite a lot of memorabilia is produced across the world, I suppose, and just sold to people or whatever to commemorate the occasion. And to be honest, I see it kind of on and off around Vancouver anyway. And it's mostly memorabilia about the wedding of Prince Charles and Princess Diana. I don't get a whole lot of coronation stuff. I picked this up because I just picked it up and kind of played with it, and I found it absolutely fascinating because there's a lot going on with this. There's just so much going on for a small little dish, and it's quite small. There's a lot to talk about. So first of all, let's measure it up. It is just less than 5 inches across. It's about, let's say 4.8, 4.75, yeah. 4.8, let's say, 4.8 inches across, and it is about 1.25 inches high. And yeah, so Eeyore, and you see the second, Elizabeth, and I'm going to say it's probably Elizabeth Regina or something like that, and it's basically the Latin saying, hey, hail to the Queen, and the second obviously refers to Elizabeth II. There's also quite a bit going on in the actual pattern and everything around the outside. You can see the E2 oars repeated 5 times. We do actually have a mark. I'll get to that in a minute. And what we also have is, first of all, we've got the motto here of the English monarch, which was news to me, believe it or not. But we've also got a whole bunch of animals around the outside. Clearly, this is a piece intended for the international audience. And it's because it doesn't actually reference anything in England. It's all just referencing basically the colonies. So let's go through this. We have British Empire represented by a lion. I think that must be like a catch-all, perhaps. We have Australia represented by the kangaroo. New Zealand represented by the kiwi. Canada represented by a beaver. I thought it was going to be a bear. Or possibly a moose. I don't know where they went with the beaver. Newfoundland, which seems to be a strange choice. I don't know why that's separate. Represented by a seal. India, represented by an elephant. South Africa, represented by probably an antelope, or I get the feeling that's not an antelope. That's actually the name of like the national animal of South Africa. I want to say, I can't remember offhand. I will have to look it up. Possibly not an antelope. I'm just gonna say it's an antelope. You know, it's that kind of, that type of animal. I'm sorry, I'm not good at geography. Okay. Anyway, so there's a lot going on with this. All right, it's essentially this kind of tiny little bowl. It has a very kind of like international flavor to it. It seems to be very much highly referencing all of the kind of, the possessions of the British Empire kind of thing. Notice, of course, that Ireland is not here. I'm happy to say that Ireland essentially did away with the entire concept of even paying fealty to the English Queen sometime in the 1920s, I want to say, long before Queen Elizabeth was crowned. At this point in Irish history, obviously I'm Irish, at this point in Irish history, we essentially said that we had a president, we were not having any kind of fealty to a queen. So obviously we are not considered part of this particular group. I do find it interesting that, like, the choice of animals, yeah, there's a lot going on there. Anyway, so what we've actually got, who's actually made this? And you may be surprised that we've got Wade England here. Wade England, Coronation, 1953. And I know from the mark that this particular Wade is George Wade and Sons. This is the same Wade, because obviously I've done a few videos recently on Wade. This particular one is by the company that went on to do the Wade Whimsies. That's their mark, their font. 1953 as well, the other Wade company that kind of got more known for doing the Disney memorabilia and Art Deco stuff, they apparently didn't last past 1951. There's no record of them after that. So there you go. So apart from that, and apart from my terrible knowledge of kind of, you know, history and geography, what else can we say about the dish itself? So here we go. Wade England Coronation, 1953. We can see that it was done in different colours. You can see that there's a set of 4 here. If that'll load up for us. Yeah, there we go. So it would have originally come in like 4 different colours, and possibly there's 2 greens because that doesn't quite look different enough. But we definitely have a green, this kind of a beigey brown, and the blue. I think of all the 3, I much prefer the blue. And you can see that this one here, set of 4, selling for... oh my god. I'm bad at this. I'm not buying these Etsy, come on. Yeah. So you can see that a set of 4 is currently being sold for $50 plus change Canadian. So what else have we got? First of all, a little bit of information on the coronation of Elizabeth herself. She ascended to the throne at the age of 25 on the death of her father. And this one says on the 6th of February 1952, but the coronation was held more than 1 year later because of the tradition of allowing an appropriate length of time to pass after a monarch dies before holding such festivals. And obviously they had time to actually prepare for it and all that. She was crowned Queen of the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Pakistan and Ceylon. And you can see they're not there. Are they under the bit that says British Empire? Anyway, there she was the day. A little bit of history there. Okay, so apart from that, the other thing I really wanted to know about was what is going on with that motto? Dieu et mon droit. Okay, so this is apparently French, so Dieu et mon droit, if I haven't butchered that too badly. And I have to say, again, I am Irish, I don't know all that much about the English monarchy. This was entirely news to me. The Dieu et mon droit is first of all in French. It is the motto of the monarch of the United Kingdom, specifically outside Scotland. Is there a different one inside Scotland? Okay. And apparently it's been around since, you know, used by Richard I up around, you know, like, there you go, in 1157 to 1199 as a battle cry, and presumed to be a reference to his French ancestry. And so I don't know if this is just like a thing that it's just not, you know, maybe it doesn't come up very often, or maybe it's just ancient history at this point. But the French and the English are not, like, historically have not been in very good terms. Even now, it's kind of a running joke that the French don't really like the English at all. And I know this. I've actually been to France several times. This was a thing that Irish families used to do when I was growing up in like the 80s and the 90s. I am old. We would basically get in the car ferry and go camping in France, and it became a standing joke anytime that I was in France with my parents, my family, that the French would be incredibly standoffish right up to the moment where they discovered that we were not English and we were actually Irish. And then suddenly it was like, oh, Irlandais, and everybody was best friends. It was incredibly funny, I have to say. So the fact that the motto of the Queen of England is in French is just a little bit funny, and also a little bit, you know, there's a lot going on here. Look, God and my right, it references the concept of the divine right of the monarch to govern. Essentially, Elizabeth is Queen of England by the grace of God, and that she has a God-given divine right to rule. Again, there's a lot going on there, and being Irish, I have certain opinions on that because, yeah, I mean, the English monarch certainly decided to take that as their divine right to rule Ireland, and it didn't really work out for them, you know. I still find this just like a fascinating little thing anyway, especially because, by the way, I don't know if it's obvious here, but it's quite heavy for its size. It is heavy and chunky and incredibly well built. There are no chips, cracks, nothing. It doesn't even have any crazing on it. It is almost 70 years old, and as far as I can tell, it might as well have been made yesterday. It is really like a surprisingly sturdy little piece of pottery. Now, actually, having said all of that, and embarrass myself with my lack of knowledge, does it actually sell? Okay. And the good news is that in different colors, yeah, you know, it does actually sell. It sells for about $10. You know, I bought it for $3 in a thrift store just to kind of find out about it because I was fascinated by like the animals and the little names and everything, and I was like, what is going on with this? I think it's definitely worth it to learn that. I'm probably going to put it up on Etsy and I will sell it for $10 with however much it costs to ship, which is probably not going to be a lot. It's quite a small little dish. So, but I mean, there are definitely still collectors of this stuff out there, so it's kind of, you know, interesting to know. I'm sure one of them is really going to like this. So, yeah. This is my small joyful thing for the day. A little piece of colonial history for anybody who's interested. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about this as well. To be honest, I'm probably still going to be laughing about that French monarch thing for a while. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.